All right, you beautiful people, welcome back to Meet Me in the Basement, the most opinionated mixed martial arts podcast on the market. We're coming off the backs of UFC 302 for episode number 44. It was a big night last night. Islam Makhachev once again spoils the party for us striking fans. We'll get into all that. I do just want to say we've been getting a lot more traction on the channel lately, so I really appreciate that first off. It's awesome. But if you like what you're seeing, just hit that little subscribe button in the corner. It lets me know that you like what you're seeing and that I can keep making more of it. We're putting out an episode for a week for you guys. We've been doing that for, I think, 7 or 8 weeks now. So we've been a lot more consistent. I'm really doing everything I can to give you guys as much content as possible. So I appreciate the support. Just keep it coming, and we're going to keep this channel growing. So again, thank you guys, and let's get into it. So before we get into the fight cards, I do just want to say, I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring lately. I got the game last week. It's been about 8 days, and I'm already like 50 hours into the game, which I know for some people that might be light work. I've always said, like, I'm not a gamer. I can't play video games. And then this game, oh man, Skyrim I'm like that with. Starfield I was like that with. I guess I am a gamer. Maybe I'm a nerd. I like anime. I like video games. Maybe I'm a fucking nerd. Maybe it's time I come to terms with that. But whatever. I know I'm late to the gate. I'm tardy to the party when it comes to Elden Ring, but DLC is coming out soon, so I'm just in time for that. Fucking sick game. If you haven't played it, definitely recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Me and my brother Matt have been playing online because you can summon each other into each other's worlds and play co-op. Fucking cool. It's literally like Skyrim, but updated to like today's technology. So sick. Loving it. I'm a nerd. Moving on. On top of that, we did just get an announcement that I don't really like to see. So, before we get into this, because I don't want to come off as like a hater or a party pooper, Nick Diaz is like one of my favorite fighters of all time. Hands down, dude is a fucking gangster. That being said, do I think he needs to return to the octagon? Absolutely not. If he were to return to the octagon, do I think he needs to be facing a dangerous striker with heavy power, who's a legit contender and has been at the top for a long time and still is right now? Absolutely not. So what does the UFC do? The UFC turns around and puts Nick Diaz in the cage after 3 years off. That's 3 years since the Robbie Lawler rematch, which, I don't know if anyone remembers that, wasn't exactly the best showing of Nick Diaz. Like, that was a hard fight to watch. That was, like, sad at times. And even Robbie at the end was like, hey, man, are you okay? Like, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. If you need help with anything, like, I love you, brother. This is his opponent. That's, like, I don't know, man. I'm never going to count out a Diaz brother, especially Nick. I love Nick. Fucking hero, dude. But, like, this isn't the fight. And they got Tony Ferguson on the same card. Tony's fighting fucking Michael Chiesa. Nick Diaz is fighting Vicente Luque. What the fuck? Vicente versus Chiesa. That makes a lot more sense. Those are guys that are actual contenders for the welterweight division. Have them fight each other. And then Diaz and Ferguson, fan favorites, legends of the sport, both pretty much passed the door on the way out. They really kind of should be looking back in the rearview mirror, but they're still holding on by that last thread. Put them together. I mean, this is a fucking lose-lose situation. Best case scenario, Nick Diaz goes out there and wins. Okay. I mean, Vicente's not like a high enough guy for that to really like be like, oh, this fucking legend still got it. It's a fight that'll get swept right under the rug. But what's more likely to happen is Vicente is going to be way sharper, way faster, way more powerful, and it's not going to be a good showing for Nick Diaz. And then, like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we taking all these legends out to pasture just to fucking put them down? Like, it's absolutely insane, and it sucks. Like, it makes me, like, feel for Nick. Like, is he hurting? Like, why does he need to do this again? Like, I don't understand. I know he's got fights left on his contract, and what does he want to get out so he can do boxing like his brother? But, like, he shouldn't be doing that either. And it's, dude, you have the potential to have Ferguson versus Diaz. He's already fought Nate, so it would be sick because then it would be the first person that's ever fought both the Diaz brothers. That'd be fucking cool. Actually, Takanori Gomi might have fought both of them. I don't know. I don't know either of their records by heart, so I can't, like, tell you for sure, but that's possible. I don't know why they're doing it, dude. It doesn't make any sense. I don't want to see it. Both of those. I don't want to see either of those fights. Tony Ferguson, I don't want to see versus Chiesa either. Whatever. I don't know, man. I don't make the rules, but it's fucking lame. So, I don't know. It's Abu Dhabi. They're doing a fight night in Abu Dhabi, so maybe they just want to put as many big names in as many fights as possible. So if they spread those two into different fights, they kind of fill the card with bigger names. Maybe that's the logic behind it, but it doesn't make sense from a fan standpoint. It doesn't make sense from a divisional standpoint. I don't know. I really don't like it. I'm not a fan at all. So, Dana, if you're hearing this, which I know you're not, but if you're hearing this, somebody put this in Dana's ear. Fucking call those fights off, switch up the opponents, and let's have, like, please, can we just treat a fucking UFC legend with a little bit of decency towards the end of their career for once? Do we need every UFC legend to be BJ Penn or Tony Ferguson and go on 7-8 fight losing streaks? Why? Why do we do this, dude? I don't understand. If anyone has a good answer for me, leave it in the comments on why this fucking fight should happen. Someone convince me that this isn't a horrible goddamn idea. Until that day comes, though, like, I'm going to be fucking calling for this fight to not happen until that day, so I don't know. And like I said, I hope maybe Nick Diaz, like, has been putting his nose to the grindstone and he's in crazy shape, but at the end of the day, he's still, what, like 38, 39, maybe 40 years old, maybe even older? I don't know. It's just stupid. It's fucking stupid. All right, so let's move on from that. Real quick, before we get into the fight card 2, I did just want to mention, if you haven't seen Eminem's music video for Houdini, first of all, return to form for Eminem. Fun song, awesome song, a lot of laughs throughout it. It really reminds me of like old school Eminem. But all out of nowhere, Shane Gillis and Pete Davidson make cameos. I'm like, I know them! Oh, my guys, I know them! What the fuck? What brought that about? They're not even in the same circles at all. It was so random, dude. Like, I'm on FaceTime with my brother Matt, again, who we were talking about earlier. I'm on FaceTime with him watching the video. I'm like, oh, it's Shane! Oh, it's Shane! Fucking awesome. Really, like, that. I needed that. So, thank you, Eminem. Thank you, Shane Gillis. Thank you, Pete Davidson. I don't know how I didn't hear about this. Like, I watch Matt and Shane's secret podcast every week. I don't know how Shane was able to keep this under wraps for so long. Maybe he didn't. Maybe I missed it, but dude, if I were in an Eminem music video, I'd be telling the fucking world constantly. Maybe I should join the Patreon. Maybe that's where people heard about it. Maybe I should start shelling out some coin for these podcasters that I like, but daddy ain't got no money, so I don't want to do it. But yeah, anyways, that was cool. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on YouTube. Alright, so with that being said, let's get right into it. UFC 302 in Newark, New Jersey last night. Kind of a decision fest. There was a lot of fights going the distance, a lot of fights that could have maybe been pee breaks or popcorn breaks, you know what I'm saying? So, in fact, I was telling you I'm addicted to Elden Ring. There was a couple fights where I might have logged back onto the game there and kind of put the fights on my phone off in the corner. So, I told you guys, we're paying the tax for UFC 300. It is what it is. At least the card delivered in the top end, so it is what it is. Like I said, decision fest. Of all people, it was fucking Jalton Almeida, who everyone was just talking shit for the last year because he was in a super boring fight, I forget against who, and then got fraud checked, quote unquote, by Curtis Blades. So of all the people to get a first round finish on the early card, Jalton Almeida was the guy. Go figure, man. It is what it is. The universe is a crazy place. That's crazy to me. There was Mickey Gall versus something Hafez. I don't know. I don't know this guy that well. Whoever he fought, it was a fucking war, bro. Mickey Gall, I'm proud of you, bro. I've never considered myself, I don't hate the kid, don't get me wrong, but I've never considered myself a Mickey Gall fan, but he was getting hit with some goddamn power in there, and, he came back pretty hard. He landed some solid jab, cross, or I'm sorry, he's orthodox, so jab, cross. He was landing that pretty well, he made some comebacks there. He almost pulled something out of his ass a couple times, had his opponent on skates. Crazy back and forth war. I hope both those guys got bonuses. Hafez, I'm going to have to look into a little bit more because he was very exciting to watch. He did kind of gas out pretty early into the fight. That's where Mickey Gall started to have some, success for the first time. But it is what it is, I don't think he's too far into his UFC career. I think he's only fought a couple times in the UFC, so who knows? Maybe he'll be someone to watch. Roman Kopylov, the other up-and-coming prospect that everyone should be looking at, he had kind of an up-and-down fight. Some good moments, some not. I mean, he fucking dropped his opponent a couple times early on, but he started to kind of fade towards the end. He started to get cracked, too. He was leaving himself open because, he has a really, really fast, Roman Kopylov has a really, really fast one, too. But the problem is that does start to slow down, and it's like one of his go-to fucking moves, so it's constant just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Eventually, your opponent's going to get that timing down if you can't knock them out. So he's got to start switching up that boxing arsenal, maybe adding the lead hook at the end of it, maybe start throwing the jab, feint, step back, uppercut, start doing some things that look similar to that, because that is his bread and butter. That 1-2 is his bread and butter, and I'm not saying to abandon that, but he's got to start doing some things that look like that, but throw his opponent in a different direction so that he can continue to land that throughout the fight, because if he's not putting opponents away with that 1-2, he's got to have something. He's got to have something to kind of keep them guessing, because like I said, when his opponent got the read of that 1-2, it was a much tougher fight than it was early on. So, again, I mean, he comes out on top, so he'll continue to progress through the division. He's definitely a guy to watch. No one's saying anything. No one's saying, oh, he's a fraud and he's been exposed. No one's saying that. Don't get me wrong. Don't put words in my mouth. But there's definitely some things to take away from this fight. For sure. For sure. So before we get into the main card, I do just want to give a shout out. My boys, the Celtics, moving on, going into the finals. Hopefully we bring a championship home. We sweep the fucking Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. Fucking my boy, Jaylen Brown, gets the MVP. Super pumped about that. That's pretty awesome. And we get to face Kyrie Irving in the finals, which I don't really like Kyrie Irving. I'm not like a crazy person. I don't hate the guy, but not the biggest fan, so I would love to see the Celtics wipe them the fucking up and down the court. That'd be cool. But, whatever. I'm not a super hardcore basketball fan, so I'm not going to get too crazy into that because I don't want you guys attacking me in the comments, and I don't want to lose all the subscribers that I just got in the last few weeks, so I'll shut my mouth from there. Alright, so now let's get into the main card. I'm going to start right off with the main event. Islam Makhachev, round 5, gets the Darce choke. That was an impressive Darce choke, and I told you guys, he's got a tight squeeze. That was lights out tight. Even as Dustin was tapping, as soon as he let go, he still ended up going to sleep anyways, even after tapping. So, crazy squeeze. I'd say a big takeaway from this is that both men were definitely surprised by the other. I think Islam was definitely surprised by Dustin's ability to keep it on the feet. You could tell he was kind of chipping away at Islam's gas tank by defending all those takedowns. I got the stats over here. Let's take a look. Well, how many takedowns did he defend? Let's see. So, yeah, Islam scored on 5 out of 16 takedowns. So he defended 11 takedowns, which is a lot of work for both men. So I think Islam was kind of surprised by that. Also, though, early, in like first few seconds of the fight, Islam landed like a strong, I think it was an overhand left, kind of fucking looked like it rocked Poirier and followed up, lead right hook, kind of looked like he had Poirier hurt. Poirier goes to cover up, and that's when he got the first takedown in the first round and just held onto the back for those like 4 minutes of the round. So dominant first round, but I think both guys were pretty surprised about how skilled the other was in their alleged advantage. Like, Islam was hurting Poirier in the feet. Poirier was definitely winning the standing eventually further into the fight, but Islam hurt him a couple times and was doing some work too on the feet. Poirier was really doing a great job at defending takedowns. I was super impressed with that. I mean, it was crazy, dude. My heart was going a million miles an hour, dude. Dustin Poirier finally hit that switch. He's been trying to hit that switch to reverse takedowns for his entire career, and I don't think I've ever seen it work for him. It's always ended up putting him in a worse position. Fucking hits it on Islam Makhachev, of all people. That was awesome, dude. And his ability to stand up, too, when he got taken down. I know in the first round when they were dry, he wasn't able to get up at all, and he just kind of had Islam on his back for 4 straight minutes, but after a while, man, he started getting right back up. He defended most of the takedowns, like I said. Unfortunately for Dustin, he didn't defend the ones that ended the fight, but it is what it is. Great showing for the Diamond. We fucking love you, dude. And if this really is the last time, I do just want to give a tribute. Like, the fucking fun that we have had being a Dustin Poirier fan, not just on this channel, but just in general. Like, Poirier is the fucking man. Genuinely great guy of the sport. You see him run over to his wife and daughter at the end of the fight and giving his daughter a hug and fucking trying to console her because she was upset. But genuinely one of the best people in the sport. Thank you for everything you've done. I can't say that enough. Future Hall of Famer. We love Dustin Poirier here. Nothing to hang your head on. It is what it is. It's fucking Islam Makhachev, dude. What are you going to do? I don't think people thought you were going to do as well as you did. So, I mean, I did. I know I wouldn't say it too openly, but I was really pulling for a Dustin knockout in rounds 3 or 4. I was really hoping it was going to happen, but oh well. We move on. Another dominant performance by Islam Makhachev. He's talking about wanting to move up to welterweight and take on Leon Edwards or Bilal, whoever wins that fight. But I don't know, man. I would really like to see him fight Arman Tsarukyan before doing that. I think most of you would agree with me. Makes way more sense. Not every fucking champion needs to move up. I mean, I don't want to use this as an argument against Islam, but it is true. 2 of his 3 title defenses came against a featherweight. You got contenders. Arman's really the only true contender right now at lightweight. Everyone else has, mixed records, even at the top 5. Fucking dude, 1 more title defense. Fight Arman. If you win that one, then pursue welterweight, because there's plenty of top contenders at lightweight, but Arman's the only one standing out right now. So fight Arman, let the rest of the contenders work out whatever they're going to work out, let someone rise to the cream of the crop while you go and fight welterweight, and if you win, maybe he stays up there, because I know the weight cut's pretty crazy on Islam. Maybe he comes back down and fights on whoever the contender is then. Maybe there's just the title gets vacated and someone else moves in. I don't know, but you gotta fight Arman, dude. You can't be moving up to welterweight. Leon's got work to do himself, so that's not an option yet. We're not gonna have you wait for that fight. No, fuck that, dude. Fight Arman. That's all I gotta say about that. Congrats to Islam Makhachev. Truly impressive performance, and still, moving on. Alright, so with that being said, let's get right into our co-main event. Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa. Pretty goddamn dominant performance. I don't know what the fuck that one judge was smoking crack. Gave it 49-46 to Paulo Costa. I don't know what world you're in that's the case, but whatever. Another awkward but dominant performance by Sean Strickland. You know, he's one of those guys that, he doesn't even look super confident in there. Sometimes he does when he's, really tooling on a guy, but for the most part, he kind of looks, super concerned, but he did a really good job of just putting that jab in Costa's face, landing those teeps to the body. If you watched the last episode of Meet Me in the Basement, you saw he pretty much did exactly what I said he was going to do. He, stayed in his face, put the pressure on him, not a whole lot of power, just kind of doing the touching, putting fucking work on him, making him gas out, and eventually Paulo kind of cracked, Paulo had some moments, but it was mainly a Sean Strickland fight. Paulo was having some early success with those leg kicks, but in round 2 and then again in round 3, there was a huge check from Sean, which kind of goes unnoticed by some of the casuals, but if you train at all, dude, going shin to shin. I don't care how conditioned your shins are, it fucking sucks, dude. It absolutely sucks, and you could tell Paulo Costa was like, "Oh, I don't like that at all." It made him immediately hesitate. And Sean was even checking with the back leg when he was in open stance, pretty high-level kickboxing technique on some of those checks. So I know it looks awkward and it looks silly when he's doing that, marching forward and kind of picking one knee up like he's gonna teep and teeping with the other leg, and he looks awkward and off balance in there. But it fucking works, dude. I've talked enough shit about it. I'm sold. I'm on the train, dude. It fucking works. Again, I don't understand how there could possibly fucking be a split decision on that. Insane. We did have another Joe Stradamus moment. It was funny. Joe Rogan's like, "Oh, I think Paulo's going to break out that wheel kick soon." And as soon as he finished that sentence, boom, wheel kick from Paulo Costa. I don't know how he does it, dude. UFC's scripted, bro, and Joe Rogan's in on it. He's one of the fucking reptilians, bro. He's part of the CIA. It's all a fucking scam. I don't know, but that was crazy. Sean Strickland with the round 5 head kick knocked Paulo right on his butt. It wasn't your conventional knockdown where someone's dazed and losing consciousness and falls down. It was more of a impact knocked him off of his feet, but knocks him down with a right high kick, throws up a left high kick after that, and then goes and throws a jumping teep to the face like it's fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Sean was on one in the last 15 seconds of that fight. I don't know where that energy was the rest of the fight. His coaches were calling for it. That's just how Sean fights, though, I guess. He literally just plays it safe until he feels like he has you hurt, and that's when he'll finally let go. He doesn't care if it's 5 rounds in or 1 round in. He's going to wait until he has that moment, and he got to a championship on it, and unfortunately it also kind of lost him his championship, so it's a catch-22. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, but Sean Strickland, once again, in there fighting for America. Speaking of America, former President Trump was there. I couldn't believe the pop that he got. I'm not a political person. I don't hate Trump. I'm also not a Trumper, so it doesn't really mean much to me, but I was definitely surprised. The fucking crowd went nuts when Trump walked in, dude. Arena was shaking. People were on their feet cheering, fucking fighting to get photos with the guy. For someone who's so controversial online, it's crazy because no matter what state the UFC goes to, Trump goes to a lot of these events, and he seems to get a pretty pleasant welcoming every single time. So I don't know, man. Maybe there's something to all the voter fraud that they're talking about. I don't know. Don't cancel me. Fucking sorry, YouTube. I'm sorry. Please don't kill me. I'm sorry. I won't talk about it again. So, yeah, good fight. Good co-main event. A little boring at times, but, you know, it can be expected. Especially, like I said, like Paulo can tend to freeze when someone's point fighting him like that. And that is kind of what happened. Paulo was hesitating, and it cost him the fight. Is what it is, brother. No secret juice gonna help you today, brother. I hope that wasn't a insensitive accent. Oh, find out. All right, last thing we're going to get into is Kevin Holland with his first round technical submission. If you're more of a casual fan, you don't know what a technical submission is. That is when the referee sees enough in a submission to stop the fight. The opponent who lost didn't actually submit. He didn't tap either verbally or physically. But we all saw that arm break on camera. The ref stopped him because, I mean, best case scenario, you get up and then what? You have one arm fucking broken off to your side and you're trying to cover up like this and maybe throw fucking one-handed punches and try to throw kicks when you can't guard. Like, you're fucked. If that arm's broken, you're fucked. The fight's over, dude. Protest all you want, but the referee just saved your goddamn life. Especially against Kevin Holland. He'll fucking start whipping elbows onto that side, knees onto that side. You won't be able to do anything about it. So, I mean, do you want to have a broken arm and a concussion or just a broken arm? I'd choose just a broken arm if it's me. You know, it's already broken. Can't stop that, but I don't know. Again, your boy got some shit right. If you watched the last episode of Meet Me in the Basement, I did say that Holland's going to have to watch out. He's got a really fast counter left, that Michal Oleksiejczuk. I'm still not saying that right. I don't care. Close enough. That fucking... did I say overhand right? Damn, bro. We're already this far into the episode. I'm fucking up. Come on, man. It was an overhand left. I told y'all. He's got a very fast counter overhand left. Typically more of a telegraph slow punch with a lot of power, but his has a lot of power and also a lot of speed. So... put Kevin right on his butt, but that ended up working out for him. Goes up like he's going to get the triangle, but then switches, gets an armbar, cranks it right back, rolls on through with them, ends up on his back, cranks over. You even saw he grabbed and got overextended on the arm. I'm not a jiu-jitsu player. I'm a fucking 4-stripe white belt, so I'm not going to get too crazy into the grappling. Same like why I didn't with the Islam Makhachev. I just kind of leave it at what it is. But beautiful performance, beautiful submission. Had to give it to the referee. You know, that was definitely the end of the fight, so... sorry, Michal. You'll get another shot, but Big Mouth. Welcome to the Big Mouth Show, baby. Kevin Holland back on track. Go back to 170, though. Please. Please go back to 170. Stop this fucking middleweight bullshit. Back to 170. Please. I love you, Kevin. Please back to 170. Okay. We're going to wrap the episode. Episode 44 in the books. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Dustin Poirier, fucking salute, brother. We love you. I'll support you in anything you do. I got my Louisiana-style hot sauce upstairs. I'm going to have some of that today. So, whatever you do for the rest of your life, we'll be supporting you. Love you, Poirier. Islam, congratulations. Sean, congratulations. Holland, congratulations. Everybody, congratulations. Love you all. Like and subscribe. Bye.